88 Films.
Andy Lobos, big one.
Yo, get out of here.
Andy Lobos.
Hello, everybody. Hey, yo, is it on?
It's on?
Is it
We're on?
recording?
Sick.
All right.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello,
Another
everybody.
episode of Store Credit.
Store Credit.
If you guys notice, I have a different co-host today right now. And that is because we put the other co-host on the hot seat today.
What's up?
What's up,
see.
Andy?
Hey, Andy.
Nothing much, bro. Like I was telling DC this morning, today's my off day. Usually I go to the gym on Monday, but I did the trial, the 7-day, the week gym. So I did the full Monday through Sunday. I was gonna go today, but I woke up and I was smoked. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a rest day.
That's good. So you went 7 days to the gym last week?
Yeah.
How do you feel now after doing 7 days?
I feel great. I feel like I got all the gems, the Thanos stems.
You got calluses?
All right. A little bit low key from when we went, but it's all good. You know,
You're
those are
doing
little
good.
war wounds.
Cool. So how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Did a lot of work. You know, gym, packing and shipping. I had a drop, so I took care of that. A couple designs. Had a little funeral, and then came back and we back here.
Nice. How about you, DC?
I was good. I was here all weekend, and low-key, busy the whole weekend. A lot of product in, a lot of good stuff, a lot of people. I thought we were going to be quiet on Saturday because we had that the Lunar Festival here, but it was only here for 2 hours, and even then, people were still here buying, trading, all that. So
Yeah, that
fun.
was sick.
It's good.
Yeah, I worked. Yesterday I was off. I went to the gym with Andy.
was
We were having trouble finding stuff to eat, so that was funny.
Bro.
And then I paid $13 for a smoothie. And then I just literally, after I got home, I just sat in bed all day. Today I felt very productive. You know, I went to the gym, walked my dog, went to the bank,
New hoodies.
went to pick up the hoodies. And guess what? I was here at 11. Not 2,
Easy.
not 3, at 11.
King.
Easy.
But yeah, let's get right to it. Andy, so tell me where you're from. I know where you're from, but tell the people where you're from, where you grew up, like little stuff like that, like a little intro to yourself.
Okay. I am from the Valley, obviously, most well known as like Van Nuys type area. So that's where I grew up at. Born and raised there. Still live there. Obviously, I'll come out here to work, pretty much. And I think it's funny because
Rob.
people always say like, yo, if you're from the Valley, you're not from LA. So I'm like, I'll take that. Because I know there's people out there, you know, maybe haven't been, or that are from the Valley, and they always get like, I always get kind of teased like, oh, you're not from LA, but I'll still represent the Valley like that. So yeah, that's where I'm from.
Nice. And also, one thing people don't know and always trip out when they ask me questions about you, they always trip out that you're not over 25 yet.
What?
A lot of people always ask me, and they're always just like, damn, he's that young? And I'm just like, honestly, I don't even know how old you are. I always say, oh, he's probably like 22 or 23.
Yeah.
And then they're always just like, yo. And I think it's because of how much you work, I think. So that's like, I feel like that's a cool, like, I would say compliment. Because everybody, literally every single person, boy, girl, like, they're always just like, what? He's that young? And I'm just like, yeah, he's...
Yeah, I mean, I think I get that a lot too. Like when I would go out, or even with my friends, like people that I would just meet, like that I would work with, they'd be like, "Oh, we're going out." And I remember at a young age, I started. Well, not at a young age, like, but I started working at H&M. I think when I was like 17 or 18. I just turned 18 actually, so I officially can get the job. And when I started, they would all be like, "Oh, we're going out. Like we're going out to get drinks." And they're like, "And you want to come?" And I was like, "I can't." And then they'd be like, "Why?" And I'd be like, "Cause like I can't drink." And they're like, "Why not?" And they'd be like, I was like, "Cause I'm 18." And they're like, "What? You're not like 23, 24?" So literally since I was like low-key 18, 17, a lot of people thought that I was like older than I looked, which is kind of cool because I'm a short king. So
Yeah.
at least I look a little older, you know? But
yeah, so can you
it's
let the people know that obviously, it's funny, the Pocket Man name came from a comment on YouTube.
funny. Yeah.
So can you reply to that comment and finally tell them your full height?
I don't want to reply to the comment low key. I'm 5'4". Officially, it's out there, bro. So I'm officially short king. Put it on for y'all. I think it's funny, bro, because a lot of people don't want to say their height, and I think it's a funny thing. Like I'll take it and I'll run it and I'll represent for the people. You know, hey, little Uzi, we're the same height. Me and Kevin Hart might be the same height. maybe me and Mayweather might be the same height. So I'm putting on for the short kings out there.
Nice. So H&M was your first job?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So at what point was it at H&M, or what point in your life were you like, all right, I can start a brand?
Shit. It was low key in high school when I started getting into like fear of God and all that. So it's probably like maybe like 2014, 2015. Like I started seeing Fear of God, Supreme, and there was this one dude in high school. His name was Brandon. If you're watching this, he always came to school. I was in 9th grade and he was a senior, and he always came to school with like the new Supreme shit, like the Playboy stuff, the box logos. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker's fresh. And then I started like talking to him a little bit here and there. And then that's when I got put onto Supreme, because he would be like, yo, there's a drop every week, whatever, this, that, and the third. And then I started getting into Fear of God, all that. And then that's when I was like starting to get into streetwear. And that's when I also started like making my own clothes, I guess, like tailoring my clothes, making it fit better. So around like 2015, 2016 is when I was like, I'm gonna make my own clothes just for me to wear. Yeah. And then from there, I met Jerry Lorenzo in like 2015, I think, 2016. And then I was like, yo, what kind of advice? This is during his second collection. And I was like, yo, what type of advice would you give to someone wanting to do a brand? And then he kind of gave me a whole bunch of advice, like, have a story, stay true to it. Why do you want to do it? Why should people care about it? And then, so I would say maybe like 2016-ish is when I was like, all right, I'm going to start my own brand. I'm going to do something. And, never look back after that.
Nice. So like right away you knew, okay, this is going to be called 1213. And for the people, can you tell them why 1213 and stuff like that? Because a lot of people do ask me that, and I literally say, I'm just like, yo, ask Andy, because
it's a long low key. It wasn't 1213 at first. Okay. It was something else. It was ATO.
ATO. What that stand for? What that stand for?
It was against the odds. And then like after like the first month, I was like, shit, whack, bro. Yeah, against the odds. So, but for those, like I made a couple things that had that, and I was like, nah, I'm switching it. Cause it was just like, it was too corny to me. Like, oh, ATO against the odds. Like, so then after that, I switched it to 1213, something more meaningful, which was kind of like Bible verse, Exodus 12:13, when God comes to swipe the land of Egypt. If you have your house covered in the blood of Jesus, you're gonna be chilling. You're gonna be all right. So that's the verse. So I was like, I'll take 1213. And the reason why I kind of like picked the numbers, because everybody has a brand name. I feel like no one really has numbers to their brand. So it kind of like stood out already. And that was like something. Another thing was that growing up, like, I wasn't around the best influence of people, but, my mom would always pray for us and do this and do that. So it was kind of that thing of like, even though you're not in the best environment, it doesn't mean you have to become that environment. You can still make it out. You can still do something good with your life. And that was something that I took for the brand. So that's when I did 1213 is like, obviously we all sin, we all do what we do. But as long as like, what is it, like that Tupac thing where he's like, Kendrick asked him at the end of the thing where it's like, why do you think stuff keeps happening good to you? He's like, by my faith in God, by my faith in the game, and by my faith that all good things come to those who stay true. So I feel like that's the main thing of 1213. Like, even though, sometimes we'll go out, we'll do this, I'll do some sin, whatever. But I still like have my faith in God. I pray every morning, every night, and just keep pushing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So at what point did you? Because you said you submitted to Rhud, right?
Oh yeah.
So at what? So you already had 1213 going.
Yeah. So I had 1213 going, and I was doing like more. I was screen printing my own stuff. I had a little bit of embroidery stuff. So for the people out there that like they always ask me like, yo, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? I'm like, bro, like I didn't have enough money to pay screen printers because the minimums were insane. Like they were like 50, and then I just didn't have that bread, so I learned how to screen print myself. So I had like a little bit of stuff. I started doing my own little Photoshop. I started doing Photoshop through my phone. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to use it. So there's an app, I forgot what it was called, but I would do my designs through the phone. And then I would upload it, and then I would send it to this place called McLogan, and they would do my screen prints. So I'm like, I just didn't let anything stop me. And then that's when, around that time when I was like, all right, moving. Rhud put up a post. And for those of you who don't know Rhud, he's the owner of Rhud. He put up a post like, need interns in LA, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try it out. So I emailed him, and then I DM'd him. And what's crazy is that 6 months prior to that post that he did, I met one of his interns, which is like his right hand man. Shout out Big Uzi Vert, Boozy, that's his name. And I kind of linked up with him. He followed me. I followed him back. And I think when I submitted the thing 6 months later, when he put up the internship, they saw that I was following him and he was following me back. So I feel like that kind of gave me like they're like, yo, how do you know Mikey? And whatever. And then I guess he kind of like vouched for me like, oh, he seems like a cool kid, blah, blah, blah. So whatever, the next day they hit me up like, yo, you want to come do an interview? And I was like, bet. So I pulled up to, hey, oh, he ate his throw up. Not gonna lie. Sorry.
Oof.
Cut it, clip it. But anyways.
Oh, man.
So they accepted my thing. They're like, want to do an interview? Did the interview, and it was low key like it was so crazy because like I knew of Rhud and Luigi, so like obviously I saw his stuff and I was like, damn, his shit's sick. It was kind of pricey for me, but it was just like a big bro thing. So I pull up to the door and I'm like, yo, I think this is his crib. So he opens the door and I'm like looking at Luigi and he's like, what's up? And I'm just there like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, oh, you're here for an interview? And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. But I was trying to like hold it in, like yo, yeah, I'm here for an interview. And he's like, bet. He's like, you can just go on the balcony. So shout out Scott Ferranda. He interviewed me and he liked me off rip. He's like, damn, well, I think you're a good fit. Blah blah blah. When can you start? I think I started like the following week. I think it was like a Friday. I started on Monday. So that's how I got the internship, literally through Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah.
So like, what were your, I would say,
The tasks?
your tasks throughout the day? Like, just a quick rundown of what you did and stuff like that.
So the task was do everything. So I think the main thing that Scott told me when he was interviewing me, he's like, bro, like, you know, to make a long story short, we're gonna throw you straight into the fire. Meaning like where you're just gonna start hitting the ground running. If you're gonna have to pick up the pace quick and you're gonna learn everything as you go. Like there was no baby steps, there was none of that. So first day, little funny story. I pull up to Reggie's crib and there's like a car waiting outside, like a Prius waiting outside. And then I pull up in my car and I park and then I knock on the door and then he like opens the door open a little bit. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, I was like, so what are we gonna do? He's like, oh, come inside. But he didn't open the door all the way. And then I closed the door. He's like, oh, that's my Uber outside. But since you're here, like, we'll just go with you. So like the Uber guy was like honking and then he just canceled it. And he's like, oh, fuck it, we'll just go with you. So I was like, damn, all right, cool. So we went to downtown. We got some fabric. We went to a whole bunch of spots. And I was just driving him around. And like literally first day, I'm with fucking Luigi. We're driving around looking for fabric. And he's just like chilling, showing me like music. Really cool dude. And then I was just like, all right, I guess this is it. So we did that, went to downtown, got the fabric. And then I dropped him off back home. I had to take the fabric back to his like little factory to get it made. And dropped it off to the sewers. He told me what to do. Like, tell him Luigi sent you. Tell him this is for that. Boom, boom, boom. When I went to the sewers, they were like, who are you here for? And I was like, oh, for Luigi. But they spoke Spanish, so I got along with them a little bit. And literally first day, got fabric, went to the sewer. Like, and I was like, all right, fuck, I'm in it. And then, so that was my first day. So that's usually what it was of like, you go, you do shit, count product, count pieces, like make sure everything's intact while he kind of like, just ran the show, make sure the company was alive. He was getting into new, obviously, endeavors. So it was literally just us behind the scenes, making sure that everything was continuing to roll, the production, embroidery, all that shit. Literally, that's what it was. Pretty much.
That's it. Simple.
I mean, bro, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, like, or I was just like, bro, why am I doing this? Because obviously it was an unpaid internship.
Yeah.
So we weren't getting paid for it. But I was using it as college credit. But I was still going to college at this point, and I was still working at H&M, and I was going to intern for free. So like I was doing all of that, and then my parents were kind of like, "Yo, why are you doing that? Like you're not getting paid." Blah blah blah. And then I was just like, "It's just something I want to do," and I knew I was getting knowledge from it because I was meeting sewers, I was meeting people, I was learning fabrics, I was learning the business on how to run a clothing brand, what it took. You know, his headaches and seeing everything. So for me, that's what I took as the money aspect of like, you can't pay for this shit.
Yeah.
And to this day, a lot of people are like, yo, how'd you get that? Yo, I'll do it for free. And it's crazy that people now are like, I'll work for you for free.
Yeah.
And now I get it why he did internship. You know, I'm glad I took it because I learned a lot from it, you know?
No, yeah. So you're probably going up and down, and like
Literally.
it's a skill. It's just kind of like I saw one of the comments on our YouTube this morning was, how do you guys legit check in like 5-10 seconds? And then I was just like, that's 15 years of experience of touching shoes, smelling shoes, and stuff like that. And I think people forget that like once you get experience in something, it just comes second nature, where you could just see something, you're like, oh, it's real. Boom,
Yeah,
it's good.
literally.
Even adding,
Go ahead,
on
go
to
ahead.
that, I think one thing like we could relate to you with that, with the interning is like some people don't understand that when you're interning, like you're not getting paid, but you're like kind of adding on to what you said earlier.
Yeah.
You're getting paid from the knowledge that you gain from it and the experience you gain from it, and even just having that on your resume.
Yeah.
I'm sure like you said earlier, a lot of people have looked at you now and be like, "Yo, like you were there," like and knowing like what the name is now, the brand that he has made for himself, and knowing you were a part of that. I feel like that also like kind of helped you with other like projects you've done, not just for yourself, but for other people that you've also helped in their brands and everything, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think like it helped me out a lot because, you know, I was going to school for fashion and design, and it was I saw everything, bro. Like, so for people who don't know, I went to CSUN and I went for fashion and design. So I was learning how to like design clothes. And then I was working at H&M, so I was dealing with merchandising and all that stuff. And then I was working for Rhud. So I saw every aspect of making clothes, from when it's at the store, from when I was at school picking out fabric, and then when I was at Rhud actually making the stuff. And what was so crazy to me is like I would be picking up like hundreds of like rolls of fabric, taking it to the sewers, getting everything made, and then I'll go to school and they'll be like, today we're gonna learn about cotton. All right, everyone open your book, and I'm just sitting there like, bro, like it's not like, and that's the thing what I was saying on the prior podcast is like the industry is not what you guys think, where it's like in school they were teaching us like basically how to work for someone and how to make skirts, how to make a dress, and then I was looking at Rhud make like 100 bands in a day off a hoodie.
Yeah, you're just like,
And then I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Like you guys are like school. I mean, for me personally, like what they were teaching me, I was just like, this is not what I want to do, you know? And working with Rhud, I was just like, damn, like I saw the ins and out of the industry and like he was at Barney's, he was at Saks Fifth, like he was doing all of that. And I saw the stuff. He would talk to me about the Vans deal before he got the Vans deal. He was talking to me about the Puma deal before he got the Puma deal. And I like just seeing all of that and seeing his work ethic, I was like, man, like school cannot teach me this, you know? So that's why I kind of stayed as much as I could and soaked up the game and, you know, did all that work for free because, you know, that's what it was about, like just learning.
during the internship, did you ever have any like, I would say some moments where you're just like, damn, like, is this worth it? Is this not? Like where you were thinking where like you could tell like a kid that like gets an internship or and stuff like that, like any like advice to like survive? Because I feel like for us at Riff, sometimes like the 4th, 5th month, we were kind of like, is it worth it? But I was just like, are we even going to get paid? Are we even going to make it? You know, we knew our skill was good, but we started to doubt our own skill.
Yeah. I would say it low key. There was definitely some times where I was like, man, this is kind of not worth it because obviously we weren't getting paid. And bro, I'd get there like at 10 a.m. and then leave like at 6, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'd be from the valley and it would take me 45 minutes to get to downtown. And like, you know, imagine not eating all day and just work. Like, I'm not saying he fucking food deprived us.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it was just like we were doing a lot, running around, going back and forth. And I would be like in traffic, like, and I'm like, damn, bro. But now I'm looking back at it and I'm just like, that's what I do now on a day-to-day basis. And like, you know, I was learning and I think it was such a valuable thing to learn because now it's just like second nature to me. Like, okay, this is what I gotta do. But there's definitely times to be like, I don't know. And it was a little rough sometimes because, you know, obviously we wouldn't get paid, but I was still working at H&M. So I was still getting my check there and I was still dropping from 12, 13, like here and there when I could and when I had time. So I always had like money coming in. That wasn't just like the sole thing I was relying on. But obviously sometimes we would get free shit and I would just flow that. Because like in a way, like that was their way of being like, y'all can still flip this.
Yeah.
And the fucking Rhud hoodies were going for like $500, $600.
Yeah.
and we were getting it for whatever it cost, or we were getting it for free. Because like, you know, he was still like giving us the stuff for free. And, you know, for those of us who were smart, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna flip this here and there. So, you know, there was definitely times, yeah, where I was a little bit like, maybe I shouldn't, but you know, I kept pushing.
Yeah. So after Rhud, was there any time like lapse between that and round 2 or?
Yeah. So I left Rhud. Like something happened where, you know, there's a little like mishap and it got a little sloppy. So I was just like, you know what? It's like, I think it was like the same thing with like the round 2 thing where you're like, damn, I was like, damn, after all I've done, this is how y'all gonna treat me at the end. And I kind of like realized like, all right, it's time for me to do my own thing. So I left on good terms with them, and I was just like, I'm gonna just do my own thing. I'm gonna focus on my own brand, because it kind of got to the moment where like I would do stuff here and there, and I kind of saw like that they would gravitate to some of the stuff that I would do, like whether it was design or, you know, some ideas. And I was like, all right, bro, this man's running like basically $1 million company, and if he's liking the shit that I do, then I should believe in myself.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people right there would have just been like, nah, but this is the thing. Like, this is Rhud. Like, why am I going to leave? But I was like, you know what? I'd rather have my own thing and like put in that work for myself than, you know, kind of like just for somebody else that whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to focus on myself more. I'm going to focus on my brand more, focus on school. And the guy was like, oh, it's all good, whatever. Rhud understood it. It's all good in the hood. And then I had that little gap of doing my own thing, and my brand started like kind of gaining traction, doing stuff. And I think I learned a lot, obviously, because the same people that he would do his wash stuff and everything, I would use because they were cool with me. I built that relationship, and I would do like little minimums. So that was one thing that I kind of like took, where when I would go out to the wash house or to meet the embroidery people, to meet the fucking sewers, I created that relationship with them. To when I wanted to do my thing, they're like, he's a good kid. I know what he's doing. He's here all the time. I got you. I'm hook you up. So that's how I got my connections in like making cut and sew stuff, making wash hoodies, like, and all that. So I would do that, and then it was easy because I would get it for the fraction of the cost because they knew me and they kind of like gave it to me on the low. So people were looking at my shit like, damn, how are you getting these wash tees? And I would give it to them for cheap.
Yeah.
So my brand started kind of taking off. And then, so that was like May-ish. And then by the end of the year, I think I had like a crazy ass drop. And like, I think I made like, low key, I'm not gonna lie, I made like $8,000 on that drop. And I was like, I'm on. I'm lit. So from there, I like, by the end of the year, I think it was like 2019. Yeah, I was like 2019. I was like, I'm lit. So I was like, all right, I'm quitting my job. I quit H&M. I was like, it's over. I don't need this no more. So I put my 2 weeks in at H&M, lit, shipped out all the orders. The next month, quiet.
Yeah.
Super quiet. And then I was like, fuck. I was like, damn. So I kind of like just, you know, thugged it out. And I was like, all right, I got to keep it going. I got to keep the fucking needle moving. I continued to like have drops here and there. I was slowly writing off the 8K, like just, you know, being smart, reinvesting it back into the business, you know, not doing like frivolous stuff, like buying dumb shit. And then round 2 came about where they put up a post like hiring. And I was just like, fuck it. I did the same thing, resume, email. The next week or the next couple of days, they emailed me back like, hey, we want to do an interview. Did the interview. They liked me. It was Sean, Russo, and Luke. They're like, oh, yeah, we fuck with you, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you interned for Rhud? Oh, you worked at H&M? How was that? Boom, boom, boom. And then from there, I was like, fuck it. They called me the next day, and then Luke was like, yo, can you start next week? And I was like, perfect. So that's when I started with round 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Should we take a break?
Yeah, so now we'll keep going. We'll do a little bit. So how was what drop were you previously to round 2? What drop were you like, I designed the hell out of this, I would say? And then did you ever have a design that you were like, all right, this is not gonna do as good, but it did well for you?
When I was working at round 2?
No, like before. This is pre round 2.
Okay, so it was what was it? I think it was a Hear No Evil, See No Evil hoodie that I liked.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this one's gonna be sick. And then there was one It was like 12, 13, and then it was a horse on the back with like flames. But I did that one on the phone. So it wasn't even like a real design. I just did it on the phone. And I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just drop it because it still looks hard. I'll redo it. It won't cost me that much. And the Sino Evo one did good, but the crew neck did crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's the shit that like kind of fucked me up because I was just like, and what even like made me believe in myself even more because I was just like, bro, I did this shit on a phone. Like it wasn't even Photoshop or Illustrator. Like, and they ate it up. So that's what made me be like, damn, watch when I really get in my bag on like really doing something like that I've actually like or like actually spent my time on. But that also showed me like I shouldn't overthink a design or think like, oh, I gotta do this because like at the end of the day, I tell everybody the market's gonna pick what it likes.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the decider of what's good and what's not good.
Yeah.
The people are gonna decide that, you know. So that's the one thing that I, you know, if for people at home, like, is you guys might think, yo, this shit's gas. Yo, this shit's gas. But at the end of the day, like the people home, the market is gonna decide whether it's good or not me. So yeah.
Yeah, I think people like it's kind of a hard understanding when you like make something super good and in your head you're like, yo, this is sick.
Yeah.
And then you do a drop and you're like, it's not doing as well as I thought it was gonna do.
Yeah, literally.
But also it's just like that shouldn't put your head like you shouldn't fall down on that. Like be like, damn, like I'm gonna stop my brand and stuff. Cause it happens here at Syndicate where like sometimes I'm like, yo, this is gas. And then, you know, like it'll be a couple sales here and there, but it's nothing like an instant sellout that we're just like, fuck.
Yeah, and I think I've learned that more where it's like sometimes it takes a while for people to catch up with what I'm doing. Cause bro, like I did this Amen hat like that has like a chrome heart obviously vibe to it, and that's because I couldn't afford a chrome heart hat, so I was like, I'm gonna just make my own. And that shit, bro, I made that shit 4 or 5 years ago, and that shit I still restock it because people still like it, people are still getting into it. But even stuff like that where I was doing my brand, but I was still working somewhere else. I was still here making money somewhere else to fund the brand.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, like sometimes some months it'll be slow, you know, stuff won't sell. But I think I've just realized like if something doesn't sell, I rather, if it sells out, perfect, great, on to the next. But if it's just on the site, it's cool if it's just on the site. Because I mean, someone can come in the next month or 2 weeks, a couple days, and be like, "Oh shit! I just found out. Oh shit! I can buy something." So you know, it's good to always have stock on the website because you never know when someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I just found out about this brand. Oh shit! Like I like this," and then they buy it. So,
Yeah, it's like your classic piece that's just always there.
Yep.
But yeah,
exactly.
so we'll take a little break and then we'll get into Andy's future and how he came into Syndicate. Hey.
Oh,
All right, we're back from the little break.
Busy
Hope you
back.
guys enjoyed that advertisement.
Hello, hello.
little ad.
That's the homie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
damn. That's
yeah, with the
he
shoes.
the fan bam.
Uh,
Shout out, homie.
yeah, so we're back. Sorry for a little break. We saw the little homie outside. Well, the older homie. He gave us a bunch of hookups this weekend for the Chinese Lunar New Year.
Shout out to bro.
Good dude. He gave us a big Chinese grapefruit, by the way. I don't know if y'all know.
Who ate it?
That's one.
Nobody?
Nobody ate it. It's in the back somewhere. But that's like a tradition for the Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
You give round fruit, or they do. So he gave us one. So shout out
Yeah.
to him.
Shout out to him. So we're back. So Andy,
Yeah.
we know that not everything is smooth
Fine
when
and
doing a
peachy.
brand.
Yeah.
You had I would say that I know of two little accidents. I don't want to say accidents, but like, you know, I would say lawsuits or just
Yeah.
like people tripping over two designs. Can you explain those two and the differences and how you handled them and stuff like that? And any advice you have somebody designing?
Yeah. So the first one that I got was the Jesse James West Coast Choppers one, and I like to remake a lot of designs. That's what I like to do. You know, it's nostalgia. So I remade if you guys don't know, the West Coast Choppers logo. I put 12, 13. I did that one for my first pop up with agencies. Shout out to them. They had my first pop up. And that T-shirt sold out first like hour. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna drop it online. So I ended up dropping it online. And it did well. And then I started to do like a hat. Then when I did the hat, Jesse James hit me up, like the owner of West Coast Choppers, and he was like, yo, just to let you know, this logo is under trademark, and you know, you can't be using it. And if you continue to use it, we're gonna have to take legal action. And he DM'd me on Instagram. So I was like, I was like, at first I was like, is this the Jesse James? And I looked and it was verified, and I was like, oh shit, it's really him. So I DM'd him back, and I was like, yo, my bad. I appreciate you reaching out to me. I'm sorry, I'll take everything down. So I had to take down like basically all the photos that had his like the West Coast Choppers logo. And he was really cool about it. Like, I think anybody else could have been like, yo, I'm suing you.
Yeah.
So he didn't do that. He was more so like, yo, can you just take it down, bro? You can't really do that. So I was like, all right, bet. So I did that. And I shot my shot. Obviously, you miss every shot you don't take. So shoot or shoot. And then I was like, yo, hopefully one day we can work together. Because my train of thought was like, all right, if he's already seen my shit, whatever, through some way, somehow, you know, hopefully we can work together. So my thing was always like, all right, if I can't do it, let me work. And then he was like, bet, we'll see what we can do. Obviously, he never hit me back. But I always think like, damn, same thing, the things we could have done. Because I always think like, I know the youth and the culture. And if, you know, he doesn't really have to do any of that. He's probably paid. But if he just gave like a small brand a chance, I have like this whole like thing that I want to do, like a campaign that I want to do, like West Coast Choppers 1213, that I have in mind with the song, with like a way I want to do it. And in my head, I'm like, bro, I don't even want any money. Just let me run it. You can keep all the money we make from the drop. I just want to, you know, showcase my talent and what I can do. But, you know, if you're watching this, Jesse James, let's work. Second one was the Patagonia one, which was it was much faster. And same thing, I redid the Patagonia logo. They have a mountain and it says Patagonia. I did the LA skyline. So I did LA skyline with palm trees. Much different. And then same thing. I promoted on TikTok. I promoted here. Did like a post. I made like 3 samples to like for the model to wear. And then same thing. I get an email saying, a proper email. It wasn't even like a DM. It was like Patagonia, blah, 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 trademark infringement. This is what it is. Andy Lobos, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I was reading it and I was like, bro, if I get to the bottom and it says they're suing me, I'm fucked. Because I know they don't fuck around. And then they're like, if you can please write us a little note saying that you're not going to drop it, take down all posts that's promoting this. And then within 7 days, and then we won't move forward. So I was like, bet. So I ran back, I took everything down, and I had to like, which was crazy, it was like I was gonna drop it on Friday, and they hit me up on Thursday. So ready. I had to like scramble around, but then I was like, you know what? I just did I put the post. So if you go to my page, or if you go to the 1213 page, I put the email on what they sent me, and that shit low key went crazy, and everyone was like, oh, this is crazy, blah blah blah. It was like negative and positive feedback, but you know what did they say? Any publicity is good publicity.
Facts.
But so. I wrote them a little note. I talked with, I guess their rep, and I was like, what can I do to drop this? She was very nice. She helped me through it. And so, yeah, once again, Patagonia, if you want to work, I'm down to work. I don't even want to get any money. I just want to showcase my talent. Something made by me. Yeah, nice. Those were the 2 lawsuits. Anyway, so let me get into my next topic.
Waiting for DC's questions.
My bad.
Go ahead, King.
So, damn, I got stuck. I'm sorry. Literally, we all have brain farts, I think.
Yeah.
But anywho, so what do you recommend telling people, like, what you dealing with those types of things, like, with their brand, how they could, like, avoid, I guess, like, is there even a way to avoid that, or do you think it's just inevitable?
Nah, I think there's a way to kind of avoid it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's actually no way to avoid it. I'm not gonna lie, because nowadays, so I interned for Rhud, obviously, and then I interned for another brand, and then I interned for this one big fashion house that did like a whole bunch of smaller brands. Uh-huh. And what I've seen just in the community and like what I've seen in just like fashion is that a lot of people copy a lot of people. Like people just copy people here and there, back and forth. It's just like how much you change. I think you have to change like 7 things in the logo. So what I've just come to realize is like everybody copies everybody. And I think Virgil said it like nothing's original anymore or something like that. But it's just, that's how it is, bro. Like if you look at these higher up brands, they copy the small brands. You look at the small brands, they copy so it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like just let it rock. If anything, that's like the West Coast Choppers was giving West Coast Choppers more whatever. People were like, oh shit, that's there. I'm gonna fuck with it more. I'm gonna go. And the Patagonia, people will start buying Patagonia. I just think
it's like kind of like a thing where like even though they might not feel that it's good for them because people will probably think like, yo, that's their brand, and you're just like trying to make money off their brand. It's also a good thing because like brands like that, like not to discredit them, they've been around for so long. Yeah, you're giving them like a new platform basically for the younger generation that might not be familiar with those brands, and it kind of like puts them on in a way also because you're paying homage to them, but they might not see it that way.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm saying. Like, they were very nice about it, and they were helping me through it. Like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. But the thing I think of is like, you guys. Okay, I had whatever West Coast Shoppers and Patagonia look at my stuff, and I'm just like, bro, like, give a smaller brand a chance to, you know, go out. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm here on the record. Like, I'll do it for free. I'll go, just give me the creative freedom to make something, a design, whatever, a campaign. And it's like, it's going to benefit them because they're tapping into the youth, they're tapping into the streets of what these kids are, you know, into on TikTok and this and that. They're not on that. Like West Coast Shoppers isn't on TikTok. They're not on Instagram really. Patagonia isn't really on all of this. And if like they gave someone a chance like that, like how they gave Kids Super a chance.
Yo, Remy just violated you.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. She probably felt comfortable next to him and was just like, yo, right, I'm gonna let it all out.
What do we do, King?
All right.
That's it.
All right, cool.
But yeah, what did they give like Kids Super a chance or something?
To design the whole thing.
And look, and you know, people fuck with him. So it's just like that thing. And like the main person, shout out Rhud, is like, bro, he got Vans collab, he got Puma collab, he got Lamborghini collab, he got McLaren collab. And it just shows like it's giving the youth a sense of like hope. Like when I see that shit, I'm like, damn, like one day I'm gonna be able to do that shit. And I know if I were to get a chance like that with any like higher up brand, whether it's Nike, Adidas, Patagonia, West Coast Shoppers, it'll give someone who's like a little younger than me, like, damn, if Andy did it and he came from the Valley and he interned, like, I can do it too. Yeah. So I feel like brands like that are higher up should give the youth, you know, like the youth a chance to like go out and perform. And let me be the first one, bro.
No, yeah. See, that's one thing that's very like important to me is tapping in with the youth. Because I feel like I'm 31 now. So I'm just like, yo, I'm a little older. But a lot of people might see me like, yo, you're still young. But to me, it's just like there's still a whole generation like, let me work with you, you know? Let me tap into these younger kids that like a lot of my friends and the people that I give close to right now, they're 18 to like 24. Yeah. And I'm just like sending them clothes or they buy a shoe and I'm just like, yo, here's a free shirt because they're tapping into a market that I personally don't touch.
Yeah, facts.
Like it's just I can't reach. Just because, like, again, like, even TikTok, it was very, like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to do this. I'm too old, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, going back to, like, the bigger brands, it's like me, myself, with Syndicate, I feel like I have these crazy ideas that just at the moment, I still can't execute just because I don't have the funds for it. But if I had the funds for it or, like, the proper team, I would say behind it that could execute these ideas, and not saying that the team that I have now is not proper. I'm just saying like funding. Yeah. So I always have like one of my dreams is to essentially be creative director of like a bigger brand because I feel like people get the word creative director really like fucked up. I would say it's like that doesn't mean you're just a designer. So it's like you're putting stuff together, and people like are quick to call themselves a creative director because they make a T-shirt or something like that. And that's not to discredit you, but essentially a creative director, I feel like to me what it means is like you're putting stuff together with a team. It's just like I paid attention to Virgil's career a lot, and even with Syndicate, I feel like that's a role that I have here. It's just like I have Andy in this place, I have Skinny in this place, I have DC, I have Manny, I have Willie. Like I know if I send you to the basement to do stock, it's because I know you lack up here compared to like why would I send somebody that's really good? And it's just understanding your team. Yeah. But I always even think about what you said is just like even Brick and Do with Beastroy, they just did Givenchy. Yeah. And to me, it's just like, I know these dudes. I seen their come up like when they were doing pants or jeans themselves. So it gives you hope that like, they're like, damn, like Matthew Williams, obviously they're good friends, but like he hit them up to do a big collab. Yeah. So even me, like, I'm just like, yo, like, I feel like if I get even like a role like Vans and
Yeah.
they redo their whole thing, I'm just like, yeah, I could fuck shit up because I have so many ideas and so many rollouts, and I feel like companies now are just like, oh, people are gonna buy it regardless. Let's just throw it out there.
Yeah, because it's Vans or whatever. Yeah, and just like adding on to that is like, I think now as of this year, I've been doing my brand. I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years now. I've been doing my brand, and people are always like, yo, you're killing it, you're doing it, and I appreciate it. But I always say like, bro, I haven't even started yet, because I'm just doing like blank tees, blank hat, and I think as of now I'm starting to do like the beanies, like my own cut and sew hoodies, my own pants, and I'm like, watch when I really start doing what I can, because the same thing like the funding, where like this shit is not cheap to make, and I'm not just gonna like make whatever and make this and make that, like. Where now I'm starting to like get a little bit more funding behind my brand and like reinvesting it back to where I'm actually making pieces that I really want to make. And like just piggybacking onto the same thing, where I think like Matthew Williams, he has the Leaks and he has Givenchy, where he's like Bam Margera. Like he has the funding to do whatever he wants. So if he wants to make something and it's gonna cost $5K, he can make it, and he can make it come to life. So that's why it's the same thing. Like, where if I were to go to these, Patagonia or West Coast shoppers, I'd be like, just give me the funding. I'll make it look sick. I have a vision in mind, and just trust me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you mean by it, where you've curated Syndicate.
Rob.
Like you've curated Syndicate with, the branding, how everything looks, and you did it with your own bread, and like with reinvesting everything back into the business, and you've done this. So it's like, this is your creative direction right here.
Yeah.
Like this is your fucking resume for any brand that's out there like wanting to reach out and hesitant. And I don't think they realize how impactful it'll really be to give someone a chance, where they're like, they gave me a chance. What people don't see is like, yo, that's a kid from the Valley in Van Nuys that fucking, grew up with nothing basically. Like, that like I was telling them on the prior thing, like I got my first bed when I was 13 years old. My own room when I was 13 years old. And that was only because my brother moved out. If not, I would have been sleeping on the couch. Like, I've been through a lot, and just for people to see that, it'll like speak volumes. And even with you, if you were to get it, they'll be like, yo, this motherfucker's from Downey. Like he came from here, he worked up here. Like, and it gives people that motivation that I think these brands, they're doing great, whatever. I'm pretty sure they don't need the extra money, but it'll just open up a new lane for them to like get into something else,
No, yeah, it's just like, for example, some people gravitate towards something, even if it's just influential or like people can relate to it. Like there's some people that hit me up for certain teas that they're like, hey, my friend found out about you guys just because you made this sick tea, and they can relate to it.
Yeah.
But they're like, they don't know what Syndicate is. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure with 1213, you get that, where somebody will see it and be like, oh, I just like that. Like the Amen hat, for example, and stuff like that. They gravitate towards something they can relate to.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I feel like both of us do really well. It's always just having a foot on the ground and being able to relate to people.
Yeah, and that's been a lot of things where even when I would send people clothes, like of anything, like because I always obviously like seed influencers or seed the homies, and when I was doing that early on, like my main thing was, I'm not gonna ask them. I asked them like, yo, can I send you something? Cool. And it was just that. I never was like, yo, can you promo it? Can you take a picture in it? My main thing was always, if my product is good enough, they're going to wear it and they're going to promo it regardless, without me asking. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, that's happened.
Yeah.
And even another thing where when I make a design, whether it's like, something for the Lakers, something for the Dodgers, something for like the Sade shit we did, or even the Selena shit, I'm like, even if people don't know what Syndicate is or what 1213 is, I want them to be like, that's a hard tee. I don't give a fuck about whatever brand it is. I like Selena and I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
And as long as we do right by making a good logo, a good design, like that's all that really matters to me. Because like someone who likes 1213 can like the tee, or someone who just likes Sade, Selena, Dodgers, Lakers can like the tee, even if they don't know who the fuck we are.
Yeah.
And there's so much merch out there, and the fact that they're picking ours, like, it's something good.
Yeah, before we get cooked in the comments, I got a his Sade.
Sade.
No, but yeah.
Shout out to her.
So now back to like what you're currently working. Well, before that is, You said that you didn't really like DC when you met him.
No, I never said that.
Yeah.
You said you thought I didn't mess with you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's great.
But bro, like, no. The thing was, going back, like, I understand that I'm young and I have a lot to learn from older people, you know, like all the time. And I've been through that a lot with people where being like, you know, interning for Rhud, going to whatever, H&M, like I've been through I'm always a student of the game, no matter what. And I think with DC, I didn't really know him. And like he even said on his thing where he's like, he's very standoffish at first. It's not that he don't fuck with you. It's just like, it takes some time to open up. And when I was working at Round 2, he was always on my ass. Like, yo, if it's slow, like, can you fix the wall? Like, yo, can you make sure you do this? Yo, I know you did this, but and I always thought like, damn, bro, maybe I'm not as good at this job as I think I am. But it was just him. I guess it was just him being like, you know, a boss, like being like, yo, just fucking do. But I always thought it was because Loki never was like, yo, you did this good, or you did like, it was always like, yo, do this. So I just thought he didn't like me at first.
Yeah.
But it was just, you know, that's just how, like, seeing him now in Syndicate and, like, around other people, that's just how he is at first. Yeah. But then once you get to know him.
No, it's funny, too, and I'm glad that you brought that up during that conversation because the amount of, like, DMs and even customers coming in now they kind of feel more comfortable talking to me because they felt the same way. And, like, you know, I don't think nothing of it because that's just, like, me.
Nah, bro, you're a dick.
But it's cool, you know, because it's, like, again, like, we're in a situation, like a position where like we can't be like, not that we can't be ourselves, but like we're giving people a different side of us doing this podcast alone because us just being in the store doing our daily thing, people don't really get to know us. So I feel like that's another reason why people like love the podcast because it's giving the audience a different side of us that they might not have known before. Thanks. And even just like how we all got into this, like I'm sure a lot of people probably didn't think like you got into it the way you did, and like just giving all that context, it's kind of like, how should I say this? Like it makes them, it shows people that there's more to it. It's not just like you said, the industry isn't what it seems. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more to it, and like there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Yeah, and I think that's a good part. Where even with you guys, bro, that y'all been in this shit for 10 plus years, and just now I feel like you guys are getting your flowers with shit, and people really appreciating what you guys are doing, you know? And you would think, well, like, you probably think like, oh, maybe at Riff is not gonna happen, or maybe now when I go to New York it's gonna happen, maybe now when I come back from New York it's gonna happen. And it's like now I feel like people now are giving you guys your flowers. Where even with me, where I know I'm still working every day, I still get up whatever 4, 5, 6 a.m. I still do my brand shit, pack and ship, and just expand on like being in the mud. Is like I still pack and ship my own orders. I still make my own designs. Like I go to pick up all my stuff. Like I do all of that, you know? And I think it's good for people to understand that, because I think people just think like the shit just magically appears and you're lit, you know, where on a day-to-day basis we're doing stuff.
No, I feel like obviously social media is a very bad place, I would say, for not for like just like the way people look at you, I would say. It's just like some people might look at me and, well, I'm very like mysterious, I would say, but they will look at you and just look it up and down your page and be like, damn, this guy's super lit. He probably doesn't have to do anything. But for example, like today I said, I want to go pick up the boxes for these hoodies. We pack and ship our stuff ourselves too. We go to USPS, UPS, like everything is so hands-on, where like we don't have a team or a warehouse that we're like, we can't get dirty. I can't, my hands, blah, blah, blah. Or even like the influencer market, I feel like I give personally Syndicate stuff to just my homies. And if there's some of them might be influencers, some might not be, but I have like a weird way of like, I would say, marketing our stuff. Like where I'd rather give like Ayana or Brianna at District 1 a hat or a hoodie because maybe hundreds, maybe thousands of people are going to see her that day when they come in wearing that hat. Where if I send it to an influencer that is going to post it, they might not wear it, they might. But if people are seeing Ayana wear the hat, they're going to be like, oh, what's that? Compared to the influencer, which obviously I have people in both worlds, but to me, it's just like I'd rather wear it to people that genuinely mess with it and I don't have to pay you or anything. It's just like you either mess with me or you don't.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with it either. You know, so like one of my good friends, Gio, he reached out to me and he was just like, hey, like just letting you know, I don't really mess with this one, but he messes with all our other stuff.
Yeah.
But I like having stuff like that because that's like, I would say that's a true homie telling me like, hey, like this picture's not that good.
It's honest feedback.
Yeah, it's like honest feedback. I
Yeah.
take the criticism I take the negative and the positive the same way.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing, like even adding on to what Chris is saying, letting things flow organically, especially with like brands and like, again, with even building a community, like you don't force things, you don't force feed things down people's throat because like 9 times out of 10, I feel like it's blatantly obvious. And it's like, nobody wants to feel like, yo, like, I want to support that because they're making me support it. Like you want people to genuinely like the stuff. And even like Chris said, like nobody's going to like every single thing you put out, but that's okay because not every piece is meant for every person.
Yeah.
But that's how you like you make something for everybody and that's fine. And somebody could come into the store every time and they find one item that they like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to like every single thing.
Yeah.
But that's also, I feel like why even not just on the brand side, even with the sneakers, why we like having such a like diverse collection because you never know who's going to walk in and like we've talked about it before with nostalgia. Like, oh, I remember I had this back in the day or, oh, like everything has a memory to somebody. So I feel like that's like when people buy things, that's a big thing too. Like they want to buy stuff that they can relate to. And it's a good thing, like you want to feel comfortable in what you're purchasing.
Yeah. And that even goes with when we're making shit. Like sometimes when we make stuff, it's just it triggers someone where they're like, I'm gonna buy this because it's nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
Whether it's when we do merch or when you drop something, and even piggybacking off what Briss said, like where now it's getting to a point where like, a couple people hit me up for my brand, but I kind of like pick and choose who I give stuff to, whether it's free or whether it's a homie, because it's like the other day, I can see who's ordering for me, and I saw Fauci ordered for me, and I wanted to confirm, but it was just like every time I see Fauci, shout out to him, he's very nice to me. He like gives me advice. So I saw his order and I put in a few extra shit just because I fuck with him and because I have like a genuine connection with him and like, so it's even stuff like that where it's like I'm not expecting him to post it or whatever, because he'll always be like, yo, I love this design. Like, I didn't really like this one, but my son loves it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, we have like so I'll send him extra shit because I'm like, bro, like, this motherfucker's a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just stuff like that where I understand where you come from, where it's like sometimes I'm not giving it, I'm just giving it to the homies because you never know. Where there's been multiple times where someone's like, oh, my homie's so-and-so. And I look and their page is private, but I'm like, damn, he wore it somewhere and he had one of his friends buy for me. Yeah. And he's private. He's not even, and like, so, that goes a longer way where, now it's like building the community up of people feel kind of special that not everybody has it. Not all these influencers have it. It's just like a little small community of 1213 or Syndicate, So it's definitely a good thing to do where you don't have to always get it on an influencer or an NBA athlete or something, because that doesn't always work all the time.
Yeah.
Like some people think like, damn, once so-and-so wears it, I'm lit. But it's not hitting like that before. Like when Kendrick wore Luigi's bandana tee, that hit.
Yeah, everywhere.
He made 100 bands the first day. But now it's like there's so many brands out there. There's so much shit that it's not gonna hit the same. So just build up your own community, build up your own little clique, and like that'll be a better and an easier way for your brand to like come up rather than just being like, I need it on a celebrity or something.
No, yeah, like that happened to us with Pete Davidson, where some people were hitting me up and they're like, how much you pay him? And I was just like, no, shout out to Ice, Ice is a good friend with him, works with him, and Ice genuinely messes with me where every time we see him, it's love.
Yeah.
And he got it on him and he was just like, yo, he genuinely likes your stuff. So send it. He's just like, can you send me some and him some? And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna send you some. And if he likes it,
easy.
That was cool. But I didn't pay him or nothing. I just like, me and Ice is always love. And it was funny because then after that, people were like, yo, let me get in contact with Ice. And I'm just like, yo, bro, like, that's like my homie. I don't feel comfortable giving my homie your number. Like, blah,
yeah,
blah.
It's
like,
just weird.
It's just weird,
It's like forcing again. Like,
yeah. But now back to how did you feel, or who asked you? Because I know I told them to, yo, Andy has to come to Syndicate. before anything, like them,
Oh.
when you were still around too. So how did you feel when, I don't know who came up to you or blah, 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 but how did you feel when they're like, yo, we're opening this store. Do you want to come work with us?
Yeah. Well, it was low key. DC was the first person to like. Well, first I knew you guys kind of like gave me like a little sprinkle of like, yo, I think we're about to leave. We're about to leave round 2, and then I kind of panicked because I was just like, fuck. Like I'm not gonna lie, I just got a raise, so I was just like, fuck. But then I was like, you know what? It was like a little part of me where I was just kind of like, bro, you know what? The money isn't worth it. Like, I fuck with you guys more than, you know, whatever. So I was just like, all right, bet. Just let me know. Let me know. And he never let me know till the day before they put their shit in. Like, he let me know here and there, but it was never like a constant update like, yo, we're about to leave or do this. So I was kind of like in the dark a little bit, and I was just like, okay, like, we're doing this, we're doing that, blah, blah, blah. And then I think like 2-3 days before you guys were about to open, we went out to, shout out Caliban, we went out to somewhere, and we were all like having drinks. And then I think it was that week that you guys were going to open. And DC taps me. He's like, yo, so what's up? You still coming with us? And I'm like, what? Like, you guys are about to open. And I'm like, so I was like, yeah, I got you. And I was like, fuck it. All right, now I know it's a 100% thing.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I was like, bro, if these dudes leave, like, I was like, I can't stay here, bro. Like, y'all were the reasons why I was low-key there. Because you guys were teaching me so much shit. Like Manny, DC, Briss, and like, y'all were just, and David too. Like, you guys were teaching me all this stuff. And I was just like, David's not here. I'm going to have to, like, what am I going to do? So I was like, yeah, I'm lit. Like, I'm going with y'all. So I gave my 2 weeks. And then you guys opened, and I was here the opening and the day of. And I think I went to round 2 the next day, whatever. And I put my 2 weeks in. And then I'm pretty sure they saw that, and they're like, it's all good. You don't even got to come in no more.
Yeah.
So they didn't even let me do the 2 weeks. So I was just like, all right, fuck it. So I'm here now.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna take a little break and then finish it up. All right, we're back. A little Waba.
Yeah.
Waba sponsor us for sure.
Bro.
Like, yo.
Bro,
We need the Waba Girl sponsorship.
Yeah, we need like a Cindy Fit plate. Like,
Oof.
the balls that are ran through.
yeah, we
And the
Well, hey,
dumplings.
once again, come on, give the youth a chance. Give us a chance.
Don't be
Waba
shy.
Girl.
So back to it. The Syndicate stuff happened, obviously. It's funny because like I don't really know you like that.
Yeah, I know.
I just
They
like
don't really fuck with me.
I would come in and I would just look. I would come into round 2 from New York, and I would just look at everybody, say, give them a little pound, like sup, and then just keep it pushing. But yeah, I remember I saw your pop up that you did, and there was like a little line outside, and then I saw the TikTok, not even a TikTok, a reel you did at round 2. So then, literally right there when I saw those 2 things, I told these fools, I'm like, "Yo, get them because we're gonna do TikTok and reels." That, and then also another thing that I said, I was just like, "We're a new store, so we knew we were starting fresh," and I was just like, "I see that he has like a market for his brand,"
Yeah.
and I was just like, "So that's why the second week of the store opening, we did your pop up here,
Yeah.
which when we collabed with the tees." So it was literally just me thinking one night, and I was just like, "Yo." We open it, we do TikTok, and then next week we get his clientele to come in here and look at the store. So it was more of like getting your brand in here, but also getting your people to come in and be like, oh shit, y'all sell shoes here too.
Yeah, facts.
So that was like my train of thought. So coming over, what were you thinking? Like, what was your train of thought? Like coming in?
I mean, like I was saying, like before, it was just obviously you guys were more into me doing my own thing, whether it's like, oh, like you can have your stuff here, we can do collabs, and like I have more creative freedom here. So in my aspect, I was kind of just like, you know what, this is a fresh start, this is a fresh slate with a new brand, like let me show them what I can do. And I'm glad it low-key kind of worked out where now everything's kind of like, you know, it's basically been picking up, where it's like the TikToks are doing well, the reels are doing well, and everyone's kind of like like people come in and spend money and they'll be like, oh, I found you guys through TikTok. So I'm like, all right, that's how I know I'm like obviously doing my job right. And you know, I think that was more so my thought process is like, again, I remember, I don't know, I feel like I told either my girl or I told DC or somebody where I was like, I would just want to build the TikTok up so much to where people are like, I'm going next month to LA. I need to come visit Syndicate.
Yeah.
And now I see that where people even DM me like, yo, I'm from San Diego. I'm coming to Syndicate. I want to get a tee, or I want to get one of your 1213 hats, or I just want to come see it. And I think you did a good job of like where people don't even have to buy anything. They can just come chill, play Mortal Kombat. And, obviously the plan worked to where like, now people just want to come and kick it. It's like a destination spot.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad everything went well and it worked out, and it's, working out because we still got a lot more work to do with building the brand up, doing more than being just a sneaker store, branching out into other things. And I remember like the first day I was like, all right, I really got to do this. I really got to, all in and do what I do. And, I appreciate you guys for like letting me do it and not having like an ego where it's like, we're older, we know what's best. And I thank you guys for correcting me on certain things to make me better in certain aspects, because I feel like a lot of, youth people that are younger, including myself, it's like, oh, I'm never wrong. I know it's right. I know it's not right. But I do take certain things into consideration. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have handled this certain way. Maybe I should do this certain way. And seeing your guys' track record of doing stuff, I'm like, it's not just someone being mean to me. They're saying it for a reason, And even hearing your guys' story with Round 2 or working at Riff, like you guys have been through a lot more, if not worse, with dealing with people, So I'm like, they're giving me the benefit of the doubt of like, you guys are giving me like the little like, yo, do this. Yeah. A correction. And rather than being like, you're a fucking idiot, I can't believe you did this, da da da. Like you guys are, doing it nicely. So I appreciate y'all for that.
I feel like you're like a perfect example for like a new kid in the scene, because obviously when I met you, you were a big GG. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that really quick. Like really quick, we'll touch on it. You were a big GG. Golden Goose.
Gang.
And me personally, obviously, you don't know this yet, but I personally thought your clothes would look better with Jordans and Nikes.
We're back.
Like I just thought like people can relate to wearing this pant with a Jordan instead of a $500 retail Italian-made sneakers. You would say
it is, bro.
But I just felt like people could relate to that more. So I've seen your change into like more diving into the sneaker market, but at the end of the day, you're diving in and you're like, yo, people are coming into the store to buy shoes. This is what you guys sell. So that's you understanding that we sell sneakers. We don't sell golden gooses.
Yo, yeah. And it was funny because I don't know, like I like wearing the shoe down to where it just looks fucking busted. So when I saw the golden goose, I was like, yo, low key is kind of hot. Like, they have this thing called the Ball Star, and it looks like a Jordan 1.
Yeah.
And I like the sleekness of it and like how it looks. So I was like, I'm gonna just get it. And then I put it on TikTok. I got a pair, and that shit went fucking crazy. So I was like, bet, like this is content.
Yeah.
So I just kept buying more, and then Golden Goose reached out to me. And I think during that time period, I was trying to get a deal. So I just kept buying them, kept making videos, kept like pushing it. Once again, Golden Goose, bro. So many people hit me up saying, yo, I bought a pair because of you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, never paid me, never, none of that. And I'm like, damn, the things we could have done.
Yeah.
Like, so, but the same thing, I think one day I thought about it where I was like, bro, people are coming into Syndicate and I'm showing them a shoe. And I'm like, oh, here are shoes. Oh, let me know if you need anything, blah, blah, blah. And they go, this motherfucker's wearing Golden Goose, trying to help me find a shoe. Like, what the fuck does he know about these shoes? So I think that was like a little part of me, like I can't be wearing these right now. Because I think when you wear like a Bread One or a Travis, like people kind of confide in you more, like, oh, he knows shoes. Yeah. But when I was wearing the Golden Goose, it was still good because people would troll me like, oh, I thought those were for girls only, or I thought those were for whatever. And I get a kick out of it, and it was good content, whatever. I made the best of it, but I only have like, I think one pair left, which is good. I sold them all for like $300, $400, which is crazy because that's how much I got them for.
Yeah,
that's good.
But yeah, I remember there was one comment that a girl made where we're talking about some shoes, talking about Dunks, and then she was like, she was like, I don't know why you're talking to me about girl shoes if you have a girl shoes on right now. And it was the Golden Goose, and I was like, bro, I just caught a stray bullet. And I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, damn, GG is for sure GG right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's cool to see you. Like, you know, you just recently got on your ones. You're big on your Jordans right now, which is cool.
You got a nice New Balance collection too.
Yeah, New Balance, you went hard, low key.
Bro, I think it's just low key. When I like something, I'm fucking all in, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and same thing with New Balance. I got like a whole bunch of 990s trying to make up for the fucking Jowns. DC got me a pair of Jowns for $350 when the green ones when they came out. And he called me. He's like, yo, you need 7.5? And I was like, yeah. Sent him the bread. Got the Jowns $350. I wore them. I didn't like the way they fit. Goof. Sold them for like $375. Sold them for $375. Now them shits are like $500-$600. And the only reason why I'm getting all these 990s is to make up for that L that I from selling them. But now he has a, what is it, 991 or something like that? That he's dropping.
Coming out, yeah.
I need those, and maybe I'll be done. But yeah, shout out New Balances.
Yeah, but quickly, I think like for me, you should be like an example of like somebody coming into this industry.
Yeah.
Because one, you work hard. One, you put yourself out there a lot. Like people should see your Instagram and look at it as a resume.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people always say it's like, oh, how do you decide who to like work with and stuff like that? And I think that's why, like, I would say technically like the Ariane, you are like perfect partnerships that I have through Syndicate that I'm just like, yo, these essentially these kids work really hard. They bust their ass. Ariane's in here posting, I see you selling your clothes here too. Shipping orders telling me like, hey, I'm gonna be a little late because I gotta do this. So when people are like, yo, like, why do you mess with this brand and not this brand? And I'm just like, bro, like, I just gotta see effort from the owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything that you're excited for that you're working on, or can you tell the people anything, like any exclusive content?
Exclusive. I don't know. Just every day working on new shit. Like, bro, I'm very excited for the pop-up we're gonna do because I have just like so much shit in the works that in my head. But just like, every day I'm trying to do more, something different, give people something affordable. But as far as like something new, exclusive, it's mainly like just stuff that I do every day. Like I come up with these things and I'm like, damn, I remember back then I wanted to make this. Now I can make it. But I would just say, this pop-up that we're doing, just showing my skill set. And I'm glad that you guys let me do that, whether it's through TikTok, whether it's through making clothes or whatever. Like every day I'm showing something new where I can think like, oh, this is, I have this plan. But there can be something that I do and some people are like, damn, bro, you killed that. I didn't know. And I'm just like, what? Like, that's just me on the regular. But so I would just say, I got a lot more pieces coming out, obviously, from my brand, getting into jewelry more, getting into making accessories, like just everything. And basically taking over that market where it's like, it's only going to be 12, 13 and sin that you're going to be wearing. Like, whether it's underwear, socks, beanies, glasses, whatever, dude. Like, just doing it all to where the brand is just like, it's a one-stop shop, like Supreme. You can go get underwear, you can go get this, you can go get that. Yeah, pretty much it. Just continuing to work every day, all day, 24/7, 25/8.
Any questions, DC?
Nah. Well, actually, I do have one question. What made you get onto TikTok? Because I feel like you were one of the first people that I personally knew that was on there, and like you kind of like saw like its potential beforehand because it's still growing, like as we all know. But I feel like you were one of the first people that I personally seen that was on it heavy. So what made you say like, yo, like I need to be on this quick and like kind of like I want to say, I know you go hard in like everything that you do, but like what made you choose like TikTok when you started getting on there?
I think what made me just go on it, low-key, Gary V, shout out the GOAT. He was just like, yo, it's a new market, a new landscape. And it was just like that new thing where, when there was fucking real estate in Beverly Hills, no one was going. Now that shit's through the roof. Yeah. So I think I kind of saw it. And I think I did a style one on Shia LaBeouf and how he got his style and who took it from him. And that video got like 8 million views. And around that time, I had COVID. So I was just like pumping out content. And I was on TikTok like trying to find like, okay, what can I do? How can I separate myself from what's going on? Because everyone was dancing and shit. And everyone was like, oh, you're on TikTok. Oh, what are you dance? And people were low-key making fun of me for being on TikTok. And like I was promoting it and they're like, it's stupid, bro. What do you want? And I was just like, whatever. And that one hit and people started reposting it. Shout out 40 Ounce Van because he reposted it. And like a whole bunch of other platforms started posting that. And that's what took off. And then from that point, everyone was like, yo, so what's up with TikTok, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, and that's when I kind of knew like the power of it. So now I'm just obviously on it every day. I post every day. And I think that's what just made me do it. It was like, Instagram, it was just so oversaturated. Like every day there was something, everyone was doing the same thing. So I was like, let me tap into this, a whole new market, which I'm glad that I did because now I feel like in 2023, people are like, I'm gonna be on TikTok now. Like everyone's starting to get on it. And I'm glad I did it like in 2019, 2020, because now the skill sets that I have from that, people are like, yo, we need that. Like, can you help us do this? Can you help us do that? Like Rob's like, oh, can you help me do this? You guys are like, yo, can you help? And it's, it's good. Like now it's a skill set to be able to do that. Yeah. And the fact that people are adapting to it now, I'm kind of using that leverage to be like, all right, bet, let me help you out with this. Let me help you with that, So even now, bro, there's so many brands that are not on it. If y'all need some help, hit me up.
No, yeah, it's like, again, going back to like listening to the youth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We came back from the pandemic and I say it all, like, I think I say it almost every episode that we do. It was like, I came up to round 2 and I was just like, yo, TikTok.
Yeah.
It's now. And the first person to shut it down was Luke.
Yeah.
And now to me that he's doing TikTok, I'm just like, finally, good job. But it's just like
X amount of years later.
What you could have done beforehand.
It's just like, yo, like if we do that TikTok and it's just like back to like it's listening to the next generation of people. The like youth. You can't always stick to like if I stuck to what I was doing in 2012, 2013, I probably would have stayed there.
Yeah.
No, that's real. And I think that's like one of the biggest takeaways from like a lot of the conversations we have, like being able to listen to others, whether they're younger or older than you, and like not that you got to do everything other people say, but being open to taking like suggestions or even advice, because you never know how things could play out. And I feel like that's how like you form the best relationships, with like not having limits to yourself or like what you can or can't do with others, because I mean at the end of the day, like that's what community is, you work with each other, you build with each other, that's straight up what it is,
Yeah. And it's good because like even you guys have been in this shit for such a long time, and you guys have your own relationships with people where where I'm pretty sure you guys would have done well without doing all the TikToks and the reels. You guys would have been doing it.
You need it.
Yeah, but you guys were like, nah, fuck that. We gotta build and we have to adapt. We can't just stay in one lane and be like, oh, well, we know people, so we don't got to do all that. Like, we have our own clientele.
No.
But now it's like every day people are like, what the fuck? These fools left round 2? Yeah. Like, to this day, bro. Like, and it's just always that untapped market of people that are new, that don't know anything about what you guys did. But the fact that you're here, they're just like, yo, how does this dude have this? How does he have that? And it's like, they don't realize the amount of work you put in. But it's just, adapting to that new thing, that new vibe of whatever's going on in, the current state of the social media.
Yeah, it's like showing love to certain people. Well, not even certain, showing love to everybody, because it happened this weekend. We posted a vintage, which was all my personal stuff last week. And I put it for, I would say, what I thought was like, oh, it should sell for this. Like I didn't overprice it or anything. And then this homie came through on Saturday and he was just like, hey, I've been seeing you guys post a lot of good vintage for really good prices, blah, blah, blah. Shout out Chris. I forgot where he came from, but and he watched the podcast too, which was good.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I like how you guys give back, so I'm gonna give you guys really good prices on this shit.
Nice.
And he gave me this crazy ass Bjork tee.
You have it on?
I have it on. You see it in the skate episode. But he came in and he was just like, hey, I seen you guys price all this stuff, so I want to be part of that community. So he gave us like this lot for $1,300. And yeah, most stores, $1,300, they're selling that Bjork tee for $2,000 and cashing out on everything else, like heavy. I priced everything so well, and I kept the Bjork tee. And I got so many DMs about that tee. Like, they're like, yo, don't undersell it, and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? After she performs at Coachella, you guys will probably see it in here for like $650.
Bro, literally.
Yeah, and people would be like, yo, you're crazy. But it's not. I got it for $4, And he hooked me up. He literally said, if you take all this, you get this for this. And I'm just like, bet, let's do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like showing love. And yeah, you have any final thoughts before we close out? Anything you want to say to the camera? Let them know right now.
Nah, just obviously follow 1213. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all that. People have been asking me to do more YouTube. I'm gonna try to do more YouTube. But just I got new shit every day. I'm focusing on what the people want, what the people wear on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, I make stuff that I like to wear, and if people like it, I'll make it. Everyday shit that's gonna last you forever. And Syndicate Vintage coming soon. That even hyped me up, even you doing that, because I'm into vintage. I'm not obviously like the single stitch, all that, but I like it, and I think it's good that you guys are doing that, to where you're giving that market a new life. Almost, you're not overpricing it, and I think that's something good. And like a key takeaway is like, even though I have my brand, I'm doing my own thing. Like I don't take you guys, like I don't see it as competition. Like, oh, they're doing this, like I should be doing that. I should be here. I should. Like, and I think the best thing Britt said is like, it's not me, it's we. Like we're doing this, So I know if y'all win, I win, and I know if I win, you guys win. Like we all win, no matter what. So I'm excited for the Syndicate Vintage to come out, because I want to help out with that. I'm not gonna be salty and be like, that's cool, whatever. Like I'm gonna do my own thing. Like I want to help out, bro. Like I'm excited. Like I have plans that I want to do to help out with that. So even if you have your own brand, don't feel scared and don't feel like you can't help anybody else with their own stuff. I do that shit every day, bro. I help so many people with their brands, making stuff, making designs. Like, don't feel like you can't do that because you have your own shit going on. Like, there's enough fucking wins and money for everybody out here, bro.
I work with everybody. And speaking of that, if you want to do a YouTube episode or a series within our series, we can have Rob follow you around and you shoot your own thing, and it'll be like Andy Lobos episode, and just throw it up on the YouTube.
See, like that. If bro, that'd be kind of sick.
No, see, like it's a it's like Syncity, and then there's like the Andy playlist of like what you do on the day off if people want to see that.
That'd be sick.
But we'll wrap it up with that. If you guys have any questions for Andy, let us know in the comments. If you guys want a part 2, let us know in the comments, and we'll answer all your questions.
Easy.
Stay tuned. Store Credit, like, comment, subscribe. We're out.
We out.
Peace.